Hi, guys. Welcome back to another The Deciding Factor podcast. I'm John.
And I'm ALTON.
And along with us is intern Barb, as well as Donnie Boivin. He is a top podcaster himself, but more importantly, today, he's going to tell ALTON how he's wrong in networking, as well as maybe what I'm doing as well. So maybe we can all learn a little something from Donnie today. I look forward to it. But ALTON, if we have some new listeners out there, what should they know about our show?
Well, if you're listening on a podcast, just know that I'm the eye candy. So you should check us out on YouTube as well. Get a good look. But the way that we do our podcast is you really got to stay to the end, because we're basically going to grill Donnie here and try to extract all of the knowledge that he has. And then towards the end of the podcast, we're going to have a little powwow and really put everything on the table and offer you our ideas and the data points that we kind of clued into so that you can make the best decision for your life and your circumstances. So don't check out on us early and be lame like that. Hang in until the deciding factor.
Also, make sure you check us out on social media, because we keep the conversation going there, as well as we're going to drag Donnie into all of this mess, as well as our extra shows that he appeared in. So make sure you stay tuned to it all. Guys, this is The Deciding Factor.
Everyday life issues broken down to help you build your own opinions on the issues that matter most. Coming to you from Austin, Texas, this is The Deciding Factor with your host, ALTON Hill and John HERZOG.
All right, guys, we're back with the Deciding Factor podcast. Our guest, Donnie Boivin. He had to really kind of change things after the age 22, right out of the Marine Corps. He really struggled with, what do you do next? So landing his first straight commission sales job that he had spent over 2 decades learning what it takes to be a successful salesperson, business and life. At the age 40, he discovered that he'd been living through other people's dreams and not chasing his own. So now, launching his own business, he found himself, grew an international business called Success Champions, and became one of the world's top podcasters. He is the founder and owner of Success Champions Podcast, Success Champions Magazine, Success Champions Facebook group, the Badass Business Summit, and Success Champions Virtual Networking Group. His story about becoming a success champion himself in his own life has inspired thousands of people on their own. And he is trying to teach us all how to pursue these dreams and chase them for our own. So Donnie, not only that, but I want to thank you for your service in the Marine Corps. It takes a lot, even just to get through all the training and dedication for that. So I appreciate your service, as well as you showing up on our show.
Hey, thanks, guys. I'm seriously glad to be here. Serving the Marine Corps is my honor. And man, when you read all that, it sounds pretty good. I mean, I'm kind of proud of a lot of that. So could you go through and try and read it again, though? Because I want to see that all. I want to feel that again.
I didn't stutter. Yeah. I got to cut it right there.
I think it was. Did you include author, John? Did you say that? Did I miss it?
Oh, he didn't write it in there. So,
Man, author, you got to add it.
So you got
it. It was incomplete.
4-time best-selling author.
4-time best-selling.
Put in the sound effect.
There you go.
Drop the mic.
So go ahead, Barb.
I was going to ask Donnie if he wants to sell my book, because I haven't had that kind of success. So, we can talk later.
We can talk.
Nice. So before the show, there was a little crap talking. So I want to air that so everybody knows where we're coming at from the beginning. So, we had NetPayo on our show. He talked about his way of networking. Your networking ideas and strategies are a little different, but more importantly, we got Mr. President of BNI over here, Mr. ALTON.
And chapter. Yeah,
Yeah.
not the whole thing.
Yeah. Sorry. I guess I should classify that.
He's not Ivan Meisner.
But
Yeah, so BNI.
so Alton's with
Go ahead.
BNI, but yet Donnie, I believe you think that things need to be different when it comes to BNI. Is that right?
Well, let me first say that I have nothing against BNI, right? So let me say that outright. BNI was built in 1985, 1984, somewhere in there, and it's never evolved. It is the same exact organization that it was back in the 80s. And it was time for somebody to come in and give networking an upgrade as a whole. And that's what we've done with Success Champions Networking is we've fixed what people didn't like about traditional networking as a whole, not just BNI, just networking as a whole. We plugged all the holes and made it so people can really grow their businesses and focus on scaling and learning about themselves and doing better in business.
So what do you think your successes are, Alton, in the BNI group that you're a part of?
Yeah, so let me just step back, and for anyone who's listening who maybe isn't familiar with BNI, it's kind of like a way that you can structure your networking, right? So it gives people some systems and some meanings instead of just showing up to some networking event and not really knowing what to do and how to generate business from those. It's kind of like some instructions around it and just organized so that people can be effective networkers. So I'll say I'm a fan of BNI. I'm the president in my chapter, and it has generated a lot of revenue for me. And I've met a lot of wicked, awesome people. And so I'm a huge fan. And I know Donnie here is familiar with BNI too. So I'm really excited to hear what he has to say. But I've definitely had some great business associates there, as well as just friends, who are of the same mindset of trying to grow themselves and their business. So,
sure.
Yeah.
Can I ask, Alton, are you a B2B company or B2C?
So I have a digital marketing company.
Okay, so you're selling B2B. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So here's where I'm at. BNI was built on a traditional in-person meeting where a BNI meeting runs this way. Everybody shows up to a meeting. President gets up, starts talking about the chapter. Vice president comes in, gives some stats. The room goes around. Everybody spends the next 30 minutes telling what they do and what they call a 60-second commercial. Some people sing a dumb song at the end of their 60-second commercial. And then a member gives up and does a presentation where they spend 10 minutes boring the room with the history of their company. And then it finishes up with somebody passing referrals, and then they fabricate the numbers about how much revenue's actually been generated. And then the meeting is ended with half the room trying to sell each other their crap. And I know that sounds blunt and that sounds harsh, but BNI is the greatest place for somebody who has never learned how to network to start. Absolutely. It's like Toastmasters, right? Toastmasters is great for the first 10 sessions. After that, Toastmasters is pointless. BNI is the same way. BNI will teach you how to tell people what you do. They will teach you how to explain to people what to do. They'll tell you what a referral is and what introductions are. It's phenomenal at that.
Now, I thought BNI
doesn't.
I thought BNI also has
go ahead.
a section that is this where you pay like $600 a month and then you also help each other with your business? Like teaching you maybe leadership? Is that a different group?
No, they have some educational things to it that you'll pay extra for, but BNI you'll pay somewhere between $600 and $800 a year. There's some extra education and training, so you could be upwards of $1,200 if you include the lunches and everything else for a BNI. So to learn networking, BNI is absolutely fantastic. What BNI's downfall came is they became a company versus networking. And B&I went for any Tom, Dick, and Harry inside of their chapters. So if you're a traditional B2C company, it's a phenomenal organization. So if you're a realtor, plumber, amazing place to be, because you're dealing with a lot more traditional salespeople. You're dealing with a lot less business owners, and so you're in a situation where people are trying to grow and scale their business, but they're 100% relying on that networking group to grow and scale their business. They're hoping that they can show up enough times and people will give them referrals, but in lieu of them being able to give referrals, their only choice is to sell the room, right? That's B&I as a whole. What we did in Success Champion Networking is we fixed all the holes. So first and foremost, all of our group meetings, they're virtual. We don't do in-person meetings, because if I got to commute to a meeting, I live on a farm. If I got to get in my truck and go somewhere, I'm losing 4 hours of my damn day, right? And the only opportunity I have at that point is to get on the phone and call somebody, and I'm losing that time when I could be meeting with new networking partners and new clients. Our meeting is primarily B2B focused. 80% of every one of our chapters are B2B chapters. We don't allow multi-level marketing, direct sales, whatever you want to call those companies. Nothing against those companies. I have some friends that are just absolute phenoms with massive downlines in network marketing, but we don't let them in the chapter because too many of them only know how to sell the room. We focus primarily on education. When you go to one of our chapters, you're liable to see one of 4 different meetings. Meeting number 1 is a full-on mastermind, where we'll break the group into micro groups using Zoom, put them in breakout rooms, and let them brainstorm best practices, whether it's sales, marketing, a whole bunch of different topics, or dive specific into one of the person's personal business issues. Meeting number 2 is we'll spend very few minutes at the beginning where people are talking about that 60-second commercial, which, look, if once I know you're a realtor or once I know you're a marketing company, I don't need to hear that crap each week. Right? Come in and say, I'm a realtor. I'm looking to get to somebody, and I damn sure don't need a freaking jingle, but we'll spend a very short amount of time on who you do, and then spend the next 40 minutes putting people into what we call virtual coffees, one-on-one, where you spend that portion of the meeting talking with another person about how you can collaborate with each other and grow your business. Meeting number 3 that we do is a member gets to come in and they teach. It's not a point to come in and talk about the history of your company and the boring crap. They have to teach something that the other members can apply to their business right then and there. So for instance, a marketing firm out of our Chicago chapter, Tim Cohagen, he came in and he taught all the free tools that a small business can get from Google and your local library. It was brilliant. Nice. In another chapter, a gal who runs a laser engraving company, she came in and we thought she was going to teach us, about tchotchkes and promo items. She came in and taught patent law and trademark because that's what she did all through college, and actually worked for an attorney for a couple of years. She did such a phenomenal job that I was at that meeting that I had to reach out to my attorneys to make sure our stuff was locked and loaded, and all taken care of.
Nice.
Another chapter, Greg, who runs a video company, came in and taught the room how he does his business numbers and how he handles his own finance for his company. It was amazing. So it's not the 10-minute presentation where you come bore the room with the history of your company. And it's literally, you teach something, and it doesn't have to be in your business. It can be, but you teach a room something. The 4th style of meeting is we have a series of approved speakers that go around to the different chapters and teach. So like Dan Newwash, who runs our New York chapter, he's the president up there. He runs a very large tax firm. He's not a CPA firm. He just goes into major corporations and helps with tax, pay less in taxes. But he's a genius at LinkedIn. And so he comes around to our chapters and teaches LinkedIn. And it's not get your profile pretty, get your pictures pretty. It's actively, he teaches a system to sell on LinkedIn and actually grow your business. I mean, we deployed one of his tactics he taught, and the results were insane. So we run 4 different types of meetings because I don't want to show up to the same freaking boring freaking meeting each week and listen to people. You imagine sitting on a Zoom call for 45 minutes of the meeting, people going, I'm a realtor, I sell houses. I'm a mortgage person, I help the people that buy houses. I'm a title company, I help the freaking, and then you got the guy that goes, I sell oil, or I sell electricity, or I sell, and the only people they can sell to are the people in the room, and it'll absolutely wear you out. So the other portion of it, when I did BNI in Texas, if you did a BNI chapter, you were not allowed to go be a part of any other organization. You couldn't do the chambers. You couldn't do other networking groups. You couldn't be anything. You had to be a part of a BNI. And what they always said is this needs to be your referral group. This needs to be your closest niche of people that you refer to. Well, what if I didn't like the handyman? What if the realtor was a jerk, right? I'm not going to refer to him. So we want people to be massively a part of their communities. If you're not involved in several different networking organizations, if you're not sitting on boards, if you're not a part of Rotaries, if you're not involved in the community, you're not meeting new people enough to be able to open doors for other people, right? You've got to be heavily involved. So in addition to allowing them to network wherever the hell they want to network, I would have loved when I was in to meet all the other BNI chapters. I would have loved to go network in all the other groups and get to know all the people, but they don't allow you to do that. So what we did is every Thursday at 10 a.m. Central, I go live via Zoom and I teach business development, sales, marketing, everything that I've done over the years. I've talked about podcasting in there. All the chapters from around the world can join that Zoom as part of their membership. There's no additional fees, but as part of that membership. And now you're networking with people from all over the world. So there are some cool similarities, right? There's some things that BNI did right. And we do model some of the things very similar to what they do. We just do it better. And it comes down to networking at the end of the day is all about getting to know someone so well that I would be trusting them enough to introduce them to my mom. Networking is not about turning that networking group into your prospect list. And that's what most traditional networking groups do, is everybody, because they don't know how to get out beyond that, they're trying to sell the members. So I'm looking for the people. And look, if BNI is your thing, cool. Please go do it. Love it. Learn how to network. When you get to the point in your business that you're ready to really scale and level up and go bigger, come see us. And we'll teach you how to go bigger and scale. And then we cap everything off with a Badass Business Summit by bringing all of our chapters together. Once we're all clear of COVID, we'll bring everybody together at a hotel convention center, and we'll do the Badass Business Summit. The other difference, when you sign up for BNI, you're signing up for a 1-year membership. Right? You pay a flat fee. You then pay an additional fee to go through all their training and everything else. For us, you pay $47 a month. There's no contract. If the chapters aren't working for you, get out. Mm-hmm. For $47 a month, you get to be a member of your chapter. All the members have to be within 1 hour of each other, because there's certain businesses that have a geographical area. You're not going to drive for over an hour to go to a chiropractor, right? So to respect those chapters, and so we can scale, all members have to be of that chapter, have to be within, an hour of each other. No chapter will grow over 30 members, because once you get over 30, your hour is going to stretch to 90 minutes, and nobody wants to waste 90 minutes in a freaking meeting. And you're going to have to listen to all these people rant on and about the crap they talk about, and we're going to do everything in our power to make sure everybody comes together. One of the things that we're getting ready to launch, that it's not launched yet, I didn't know, like a realtor's, some of their biggest income is referrals from other realtors. I didn't know that was a thing. So one of my chapter presidents runs a really large realtor firm. And she said, Donnie, I would love to meet the other realtors. And I asked her why, in particular. She goes, because of referrals. I'm like, well, let's do that. So once a quarter, we're going to bring every realtor from every chapter together and say, let's do a Zoom and let y'all meet each other. Let's hang out and go. So, and like the marketing companies, all these marketing companies have different specialties and niches. We should be bringing them all together and let them talk. So we're working on ways to continually bring everybody together so real business can happen. And that's why I keep telling everybody, we've just fixed everything that people hated about networking.
So it's good that you're evolving. It seems like anytime I've ever talked or known of a business owner who's struggling, it's evolving from where you're at is kind of the trick to a lot of their issues. The one thing I'd like to say, what it sounds like I'm getting from you on the Success Champions is, so me and you met through NetPeo. He was on our show. And his theory is you get to know everyone, you help everyone all you can. And then you said the BNI group is a lot about networking as well. You're going to try to use all the people that are part of the group. But it sounds like you're really taking it to the next level where you combined everything and tried to help make the business more successful, not just by networking, but teaching you these little tricks that a lot of small businesses run into, which some of those classes can get really expensive if you're a part of those side groups.
And that's exactly it. I mean, when I was going through all the networking groups, BNI, there's Master Networks, there's a whole bunch of, Tip Club and a whole bunch of other networking groups out there. When I was going through them, I wanted to learn. So in addition to going to those groups, I had to pay to go to conferences and I had to pay to go do all this stuff. And so we were like, we can literally bring all these people together and allow them to learn. And it's not me just sitting on the screen and, teaching. When we do this Thursday training, I'll come in and teach 5 to 20 minutes. But so you're networking with all the groups. We'll do 2 breakout groups where I'll break everybody who shows up to those Thursday meetings into 3 or 4 smaller groups. And now make sure you're meeting different people. And it was funny, a roofer in my Chicago group, she looked at me and she goes, why the hell do I care to meet somebody in North Carolina? Why is that any value to me? And I'm like, because you have no damn idea who they know in Chicago. And a light bulb went off to her on her head. And now she shows up to every Thursday, to get to know these people and vice versa. So it's about creating an environment where you're around people that are really trying to level up their life. They're outgrowing outside of the networking group. The networking group should never be your sole income. And anybody that does any networking and says this group is my sole income, you're screwed. Right? Because your only choice is to sell the members, right? Because they're not going to be outgrowing fast enough to be able to sustain the growth you need in your business, right? So it goes back to it's providing an opportunity to where you can learn, you can grow, and you can actually grow your business through introductions and referrals.
So talk to somebody like me. All right. Let's assume major amateur. It took me most of this show to figure out what you meant by B2B versus B2C, but I think I figured it out. I think I know what you're talking about. But I published a book this year, and I didn't go through a huge publisher. As fun as that sounded, I went through a collaborative publisher, which means that all of the sales for this book, that's all on me. Right. And I've learned the hard way that I'm not naturally gifted at that. But when I hear you describe the kind of classes you're offering, the kind of networking, I'm thinking, well, yeah, ALTON would love that. Should someone like me be in a networking group like this? Is someone where I think I would love it if I got launched onto podcasts? Yeah, go.
Yeah. So truthfully, 2 things. 1, a BNI group could be very good for you to teach you how to tell people exactly what you do. So you wrote a book, that's a cool thing, but do you know how to tell others your story and why they should buy the book? BNI could really walk you through that process, and there's nothing wrong with starting there. The same token is you could look at a group, either one of these groups, and meet in theory, because I don't want to completely throw BNI under the bus, but in theory, you're meeting with a bunch of people that should be helping you sell that book. So think about, you show up to a meeting and there's 30, I'll use SEN, I won't say BNI. There's 30 business owners sitting there and you just launched a book. Those 30 business owners are going to be so excited with you that you have a book out, and they're going to be like, dude, let's help you get it out there. So they go start telling your friends, they go start telling people. Well, inside of all of our chapters, in addition to that, we have several podcasters that are in these chapters. Odds are they're going to want to hear your story. So it's really about getting real people that are like-minded, they want to grow, they want to succeed, and help turning them into part of your sales team. You will still always be the number one salesperson in your company, right? You will always be the person that's going to have to go out there, because I'm not going out there to sell your book ever.
Right.
However, if I'm in a conversation, I don't know what's your book about.
My book, it's fiction. It's the story of the world through the eyes of a nonverbal, medically fragile 5-year-old girl. So it's
Cool.
fiction, but it's getting used. Yeah, it's getting used in a lot of educational settings.
Awesome. Beautiful. So imagine this. I'm in a conversation with somebody, and the conversation gets more personal than most people usually do in business. I will all the time. And somebody says, they have a nonverbal person in their family. They have a nonverbal kid. It's an instant cue for me to go, have you read Barb's book? Because that's how I'm wired to open doors for other people. Now imagine if you've got 30 people doing that for you on a regular basis. They're keeping you top of mind to open doors while not trying to sell you their lotions and potions. And couldn't help.
So Alton, now that you know his story, tell me maybe why we should go with BNI versus Crazy Boy down here.
Crazy Boy.
No, I think that
you can go ahead and just say I'm right.
I love what Donnie's talking about, and I think what he's created and creating is going to offer people a lot of value. I mean, I love the direction that you're taking it. What I have found, I guess in quote, defense of BNI, is that each chapter has its own culture, and I've been in some that I don't know if I could recommend, but when you get the right people in the right room with the right drive and the right skills, a lot of awesomeness can come from that. And I think that that's hugely powerful, right? And it sounds like Donnie looked at that model and said, yeah, I really love this, this, and this, but man, how incredible would it be if it, we added this and this and this on top of it. And, for me, BNI is like, you do have some dedication, like, hey, this is the guy that I'm going to use first, but not like, nobody's getting sued if you use a different, whatever mechanic or something. Right. But no, I'm really thinking I'm gonna have to go check out Donnie's group here.
Well, so I've got a question kind of for you both to answer, and that is the thought process of, the BNI groups are local. You're only going to have so many members. However, I do like the idea because there's some businesses like what I'm in where it's national or global, and it's nice to network with others. The problem you run into is, number one, Donnie, you need a big number of people involved in this across the US or global if you end up going there. But at the same time, you run into an issue where how many is too many to be in one little group? Because you can't get close to me if we have 200 people in the same chat room.
Yep.
And we can't answer everybody's questions.
Yeah, 100%. So none of our chapters will ever go over 30 members. BNI literally in like Indonesia, I think it is, Thailand maybe, just launched a chapter with 279 or 97 members. That is that's a chamber of commerce. That is not a networking group. So what we did, and realistically, even majority of your BNI chapters sit on 20, 25 people. We just captured it at 30 just to make sure. We don't want people with just heartbeats in these groups. Just because you can fog a mirror doesn't mean you need to get in our groups. So, we put processes in place, so like, the leadership team truly votes the members in, and it's 100% got to be a unanimous decision from the leadership team to put them in. we didn't want things like, there's no reason my chapter presidents, vice presidents, and secretaries should be handling money ever. So we automated the entire process. So if somebody wants to sign up, they go to the website, they apply to visit, they apply to be a member. It's all automated. You'll never chase down money. And one of the things that I know BNI is good about is saying, hey, you've got a chapter member whose dues are coming up. You need to talk to them about their dues, right? It's a nuisance. I don't want to put that on my presidents. You shouldn't put that on my presidents, right? So we took that out of there. In the same token, there's situations that are going to arise where you need to remove a member. We automated that process so you guys don't have to deal with that. I just tried to take as much drama out of it as possible. The goal is to show up, be badass, and freaking, get business done. But to your point of the local chapters, once, a chapter in Fort Worth, we've got three chapters in Fort Worth. We got one in Arlington. We got one in Dallas. We're fixing to launch a second one in Dallas. So we're launching multiples in the city. Like I said, BNI got it right. When they did the multiple chapters in the multiple cities, you gave a lot more opportunity. They just got it wrong because they don't like those groups networking together. It's kind of like watching West Side Story. You stay on your side, I'll stay on my side,
Please tell me your group has dancing and snapping.
Absolutely. And twirling, whatever that is.
You'll soon know.
It all comes. Yeah, that's getting Googled quickly. But it's all about creating an environment where people feel safe, because a lot of the people that have joined our groups are on the grow. So they just left corporate America, they've launched their business, and now they're a bookkeeper, a CPA. They need an environment where they're freaking supported, because their families are like, what the hell were you thinking? You just left a job and now you started a company. So they need an environment where they feel safe, that they can come learn how to be a business owner, learn how to sell, learn how to grow, and be in an environment with other supportive people that are also, as they're out there closing their own business and their own deals, are like, so we teach, literally, if I bring on a new client, I bring on a new company and I'm helping them with podcast, I'm going to finish that conversation with a simple move. I know you guys are looking for a lot of things in the marketplace right now, a lot of different vendors, whether it be marketing, whether it be promo product, whatever it is. I've got a group of people that you should be talking to, that I'm glad to make an introduction to, because these are all my trusted advisors. And if you've got a bunch of people that are having your name top of mind, BNI does this as well, right? But you got people that are 100% focused on keeping you top of mind. It's a brilliant thing to allow you to get more awareness of your products and services. But it's also a beautiful thing because now you got people that are literally, instead of you having to call your way in or cold email your way in, somebody's literally going, hey, Barb, meet John. Think you should too. Go have a virtual coffee. I'll let you guys take it from here. And it's amazing what happens then in that virtual coffee, because you already got a commonality of, well, we both know Donnie, so we'll try not to hold that against each other. Or, hey, we're both in Success Champion networking, or you get to start off on the right foot. And it works really, really, really well, and just creates the right environment and the right culture.
So I have to ask, does Success Champions take BNI members? Or you gotta like, sorry, man.
Are you sold already? Is it you're out?
And no, I'm asking a question here.
I think the deciding factor is decided.
What if?
Yeah, totally.
Let's say, for instance, a BNI member were to moonlight. Would that be okay?
Are you looking for a president?
Hypothetically.
Yeah,
totally. I don't care where you. Yeah, I don't care where you network. And truthfully, if you're hanging out in multiple groups and you're meeting multiple people, it's multiple opportunities to open doors for others. Right? And for me, that's everything. I love growing my business. I love sales. I love getting people to say yes to what we do, as long as both people walk away from that conversations feeling good, right? As much as I love that, I love opening doors for others 10 times more than that. It is my biggest joy to literally say, you need to meet so-and-so, because I'm telling you, if you're looking to do X, this is the exact person you need to be talking to. They're going to rock. It's like, Barb, right now, I want to introduce you to Laura DeFranco, who's the secret behind my 4-time best-selling books. So she can go, okay, let's relaunch this thing and take it to the freaking stratosphere. Right? That's the power of true networking. And that's what it's supposed to be. And by the way, Laura runs my Bethesda chapter as well. She's the president of that chapter, right? So, but that's
Did you say
the
you
power
were in
behind
sales before, Donnie? I'm not sure.
No, not at all.
Guy's a deal closer here. Pay attention.
Oh man.
You know.
So what you're saying is BNI lives matter.
Cool. Wait. Go ahead.
No, you didn't.
Wow.
No, you didn't.
We're gonna lose him. We're gonna lose him, John.
There we go.
I don't care. Facebook tried to shut me down this morning. Screw you.
But it really comes back to authentically and genuinely doing business, doing the right thing. And I'm going to catch y'all for this statement, by upping the caliber of individuals that are sitting in our groups, and by upping the caliber of how they're trying to run their business, and truly getting a group of people together that understand that group is not your prospect list, it's an amazing thing. BNI has some amazing groups, but at some point, BNI's went to numbers. When you can open a chapter that has 179, 200, 300 freaking members in it, that's more about numbers than making sure people find success. And you know, as much as I would love to have a company that rivals the size of BNI, as much as I would love, and someday I would love to have my own Business Wars episode of Success Champions Networking versus BNI. I think that would be freaking rad. You know, at the end of the day, I just want to continue to create an environment where business owners can come together and real damn business gets done. You know, they can be in a cool environment to scale and grow.
Totally. I don't have any more questions for you, Donnie, but I did want to say we've had quite a few people on our show that have talked about just the different aspects of networking. And I'm going to have to admit that the way that you've articulated real referral, how to give a referral and what it's really about when you're meeting and networking, you've articulated things so well that I think I knew in my head, but then you said it so well. I'm like, that's what I've been thinking this whole time. So you've done a great job of that.
Thanks for that, dude. I really appreciate that.
It's a good communicator. You should start a podcast or something.
Oh man. So Donnie, it sounds like you've really got it wrapped up as far as the Success Champions. You've got such a good format. I'm honestly kind of jealous that I didn't know you sooner. That way I could be a part of it with you. But for those that are listening, now's your chance to tell them how they can get in touch with you and maybe become a part of Success Champions.
Absolutely. Easiest way is to go to successchampionnetworking.com. And literally everybody who's a member, you're going to get a chance to talk to me. Whether it's through live training, live coaching, you're going to at some point going to be screen to screen with me, or if you come to the Badass Business Summit face to face to, ask questions, get advice. People don't believe me, but I sit right here at this desk all day long, and I'm on Zoom calls, answering questions, helping people grow their businesses, having great conversations, and trying to help as many people as possible. So there's always access to me. But go to successchampionsnetworking.com. We've got currently 35 chapters across the U.S. So if we don't have a chapter in your area, please reach out to me because we may be launching one there. If not, maybe you can help us launch a chapter in that area. One cool thing that we do, not a single president who runs one of my chapters pays a dime to be a part of my organization. Because they're stepping up to be the president, I cover their $47 a month cost because they're helping me grow and expand and get more lives. So everybody else pays $47. My presidents, I take care of that for them. Nice. So successchampionnetworking.com, come hang out and come say hi.
Well, Donnie, we really appreciate the time you've spent with us, not only on this podcast, but our extra segment where we got to learn more about you. And then also the Think Fast segment you did. It was great learning everything there could be learned at this time about you. And
guys, this has been my honor. Let me do one cool thing for you.
Okay.
So guys, if you guys got any sort of nugget, like one gem, like during this time on any of the shows, you got any value out of it, do me the greatest honor and teach somebody else how to subscribe to their shows. One of the greatest gifts you can give anybody who's doing podcasts, YouTubes, and everything else is teaching somebody else how to tune into this. This is great content, phenomenal conversation, and other people should be listening to this. So tell somebody else how to subscribe to this thing. It'll mean everything. It's like you walked up and gave a virtual hug. There you go, Alton.
I like it.
Well, it was great. I appreciate you showing up, and can't wait to hopefully have another segment with you in the future.
Thank you so much, Donnie.
It's good to meet you, Donnie.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Yeah.
All right, Alton. So it looks like you might have your mind made up. Is that right?
Well, I love what Donnie said, and I would say, listening to him, I would say, I don't know what belt I am at networking, but I am not a black belt at networking.
Well, are we going karate colors or are we going jujitsu colors?
Any colors, but not a white belt, I'd say. I've certainly had networking work for me. But yeah, to scale it, I just really love the way he articulated everything. And I guess I do believe that BNI itself is trying to morph more than Donnie maybe admitted to, or maybe is aware of. But I love that he's trying to grow a networking group into more. To me, what he's pitching is like a networking / mastermind group. And I guess I've never really thought as much about like a mastermind group as a networking group, but it sounds like he's trying to put the best of a mastermind group together with the best of a networking group. And I think that that's a phenomenal idea for sure. And so, yeah, I mean, I think he's got a good thing going.
What about you, Barb? You're the least business savvy person. Did you gather anything you really liked about this show?
Well, for one, I didn't even know there were belts involved in networking. So yeah, I'm gonna shop. No, I liked I liked the concept. I think I've always felt like when we have these conversations that I should probably be online shopping instead of participating because I just don't feel qualified. But as he was talking, I thought, no, had I been in a group like that right when the book came out, I probably would have had a very different launch than what I did. And it does make me think, I think I need to probably view writing as more of a business than I have, or even what we do on the podcast. So yeah, no, I definitely got stuff out of it. And I liked his, I can't remember if this was the main show or the extras, where he talked about how being authentic is not about being open about everything. It's being open about what you want to be open about, and what you want to connect or geek out with people about. So no, I got a ton out of it.
Nice. Well, y'all ready to do it?
So ready.
All right, let's do it.
Now it's time for our deciding factor.
All right, so is there something new as far as networking goes nowadays. I got to tell you, from the second he started really talking about it and what the success champions do, I was like 100% in, because I know the importance of B&I and some of the networking, network after work, those things that they have. I don't know if you've gotten any of those emails. Those are good. Those are fun, but it's very shortly lived, it seems like. Whereas his is very personable. I mean, the level that they take it to, especially because it's not just, hey, here's Donnie, hey, here's Alton, here's Barb, here's what they do, here's what you do. He's really into it, and he teaches, he has these workshops. Like he mentioned that guy that talked about Google and how that can help with their small business.
Yeah.
You really do not understand the value of how teaching little things like that can help a small business, because there's a lot of owners that come into there, start a business, and they don't know enough about business. And it could be a small thing. It could be accounting that people tend to struggle with, or just organization. I mean, there's just so much. So I think having that capability is really good. You mentioned your book, Barb, and he also talked about it. You could absolutely benefit from a group like this. Now, I'm not saying you're going to do these groups for a long period of time. That may not be the case, or it might be the case.
It might be. Yeah. I don't know.
But I think at some point I would give it a try if I were you. I know I'm more than likely going to end up doing it for a lot of networking purposes, but I think you personally could learn a lot from the different things you could get taught.
It reminds me of, I was thinking, is it new, or is it actually like what business used to do in having apprenticeships? That's what it reminded me of as I was listening to him talk. It's like functionally, it's apprenticing yourself to a group of other people in different industries and getting the most of what each of them has to offer. And with that comes referrals, and with, you get connected to other people. But I thought that the teaching side of that, because you're right. I mean, as an author, there's a huge amount of knowledge here that I was missing starting. Yeah. That I've been learning through podcasting, actually, just the people that I've met and ways. It's all you guys. Massive props. But yeah, I think a group like that, it just seems like the digital version of apprenticeship seems brilliant.
Well, the other key I forgot to mention was BNI is more local. His group seems to be local and global, and that's really, a lot of companies need that. I mean, even you, Alton, your business, yes, you do a lot locally, but just imagine if you opened up globally.
Yeah, I mean, I think definitely it kind of depends on what you're looking for and being strategic, I guess. So I started, I feel like I'm almost not even qualified to talk into networking because I've been doing it for such a short period of time, but I've had so much success since I've started. And so to me, what I want to say is that I kind of was like this reluctant networker for some period of time. And it was because I was an ignorant networker. And so I think that certainly to be good at networking and to get those referrals, you need to know how to network. And BNI certainly teaches you and has taught me how to network. But then, yeah, can you take it to another level? I think it's possible. Some people show up to meetings and they just want, like you said, it's like, oh, here's all my prospects. I got 30 people in a room. I'm going to try to sell them on something, whereas I think maybe that's what Donnie was kind of exposed to, or maybe not. And he's like, no, we got to go deeper than that, guys. We got to, really develop that. And so he's putting rules, sets in place to where you can't have these like part-timers, So I would say that, like, is podcasting networking? I would say 100%. all met awesome people here that we're still working with and learning from. And so networking to me is vital, and having those connections. I mean, like Barbara met us on a podcast, and then she's like in my house, right? Like in Texas.
By
from
choice or
Washington.
no?
I was almost invited. I was practically invited. It made it sound like I just jumped your window.
Like that wouldn't have been possible without a podcast. Well, what happened? Well, we totally masterminded and networked and did all that through the podcasting medium. So I'm not really here to say that Donnie has a great new thing and everybody should quit BNI and go jump on that and quit podcasting and just do that. I think it's about having a lifestyle that promotes networking. And like he mentioned, he's like actively thinking, who can I connect Barbara with? Who can I connect ALTON with? And that's the networker mindset that you need to have if you just want to be a good human. But and then the other side of that is growing yourself and your knowledge, right? And continuing to learn. And to me, that's what this podcasting is. It's what reading books is. It's whatever, just like meditating and journaling yourself, but then also obviously listening to someone who's maybe, talking about his podcast, who has more listeners than we do, talking about a business that might be generating more revenue than what yours is, hey, what did you do again? And learning, because that, I think that those are the things, especially in my life, maybe not for everyone, but I'm realizing the older that I get that I want to feel connected to other people, like I want to help Barbara sell her book. I want to help, whoever get better. That's why I want to do this podcast, because I want to be a part of finding some clever guy like Donnie or whoever and sticking them in front of somebody else and be like, listen to this guy. You might hear something that's going to change your life. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's a good thing that he's doing. And I'd certainly like to visit and check it out.
Absolutely. All right. Well, if you're listening at home or in your car, y'all be safe. It's been a crazy year, even in 2021.
Or don't be safe if you don't want to be safe.
Be wild and crazy.
Smart does not equal safe, or safe does not equal smart.
Boom.
Dropping that bomb on you.
There you go.
I like it.
All right, guys. Make sure you check out our Deciding Factor podcast extra series. We've got a few different things out there. Apparently, Facebook doesn't like everything we post, even if it has no sexual content to it. Screw you, Facebook. But we will catch
his handsome face. They're like, he is way too sexy. We got to flag that. I don't know if everybody's ready for this.
Yeah.
Warning.
Well, y'all guys stay tuned. We've got plenty of other stuff to come. And make sure you subscribe to our channel. Make sure you check out everything that does come your way. You get that notification sound.
Hey, when is this going to air? Is it before Valentine's Day?
Definitely not.
Oh. Happy Valentine's.
All right, guys. Y'all say bye.
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 This has been another episode of The Deciding Factor, giving you food for thought on real life issues. Be sure to click, like, and subscribe to this podcast, as well as all your big social media outlets, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Don't forget to check out our website at thedecidingfactorpodcast.com and give us comments and feedback. Until next time, stay safe and remember to keep an open mind.